Trojans and the Bruins took part in a joint walkout not only to protest the election of President-elect Donald Trump, but to deliver a message.
And more anti-Trump protesters are taking to the streets of LA. We'll see why they want their voices heard.
And USC athletes aren't just winning games, they're scoring off the field too. Find out how.
Daybreak TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Daybreak TV News.
Trump is not my president.
Hundreds of students on our campus and UCLA's protested President-elect Donald Trump and his policies this afternoon. Good evening, I'm Ryan Thompson.
And I'm Sonica Bargo. This joint protest comes more than a week after Election Day. It also comes just 3 days before the big game between USC and UCLA. The crosstown rivals planned this joint demonstration to highlight students' dissatisfaction with the election outcome.
Not my president! Not my president!
This is a rally just for a couple different organizations that are standing against the violation of rights by the president-elect that he has said he plans to do. So we have a petition going around to have USC become a sanctuary campus, as well as several different letters floating around that we're going to send to the Electoral College voters, particularly Democratic ones in swing states that voted Republican.
Students voiced their concerns about a Trump presidency, demanding that USC officials take action by declaring the campus a sanctuary for undocumented students.
Conquest Week, and USC plays UCLA this Saturday, and we felt like it was a good time to bring each other together for such a big issue, and like regardless of football and all the other rivalries with USC and UCLA, which obviously I'm like a part of, and like I'll like bash on my friends at UCLA, but this is the thing where it's important to come together as universities in Los Angeles where the majority of the population, or the largest minority population in LA is Latino, and are directly affected by the deportation rates and things like that.
On the other side of town, the Bruins also rolled out on their campus with an anti-Trump demonstration. Several hundred UCLA students staged a walkout to protest against Trump and to call for a safe place for all people. Students gathered outside of Royce Hall.
Students from East Los Angeles College also left their classrooms today to march to City Hall.
United will never be divided. Together, united will never be divided.
The walkout began at 11 this morning and continued along First Street into East LA en route to downtown. The peaceful demonstration was dubbed We Make America Great. Participants invited anyone feeling threatened by Mr. Trump's presidency to join the march.
We're out here a week after it was announced that Trump was the elected president. We want him to know that we acknowledge him as our president, but that he also has to acknowledge us as citizens that he serves.
If I had marched last week when all of my emotions were inflamed and everything, then I feel like the message would have gotten lost in translation, that my emotions would have spoken for me versus what I'm actually trying to say. This week, I feel like, we've had time to kind of process it and, settle a bit and try and realize, like, okay.
And on the other side of Los Angeles, about 175 students at Pierce College in the San Fernando Valley also held a similar walkout today.
As President-elect Trump continues to select his cabinet members, several news organizations have reported on turmoil within his transition team. Last night, Trump took to Twitter to say all is going well, writing, quote, "Very organized process taking place as I decide on cabinet and many other positions. I am the only one who knows who the finalists are," end quote. This comes after Congressman Mike Rogers announced he's stepping down from Trump's team. Today, he shared his thoughts about the transition.
The first 8 days is the most tumultuous in any of these transitions. This is probably the most public affair of the transition I certainly have seen in my lifetime. I'm not sure that's healthy.
Well, aside from President-elect Trump, the alt-right has also come into the spotlight this week in the world of politics.
Yeah, that's right. Our reporter Razan Niklawi has been following the story. Razan, what are you following?
So President-elect Donald Trump is being widely criticized for appointing Stephen Bannon as his chief strategist. Bannon runs Breitbart News, an online conservative outlet associated with the alternative right movement, which is often described as white nationalist, anti-Semitic, and woman-hating. Bannon's appointment worries hate watch groups such as the Southern Poverty Law Center. The group issued a statement saying Bannon has no business in the White House. I spoke to Douglas Becker, a professor at USC, who said the concerns go deeper than simple partisanship.
That, I think, is what the real fear here is. The more and more these groups become normalized, and it seems as though it's a part of political discourse, and that's what the real threat of having somebody like Steve Bannon. As far as I'm concerned, it's the symbol of having Bannon in the White House.
The alt-right movement started online forums such as 4chan and Reddit, where users shared their far-right political views with memes and inside jokes. Today it spread to Twitter, Facebook, and other mainstream platforms. I spoke to a reporter at Vice News who explained the youthful draw of the movement.
The thing about the right wing is it's kind of suffered an image problem, or basically a branding problem. The right wing has not been cool for a while. And I guess the benefit or the draw of the alt-right is that it actually seems like it's something cool to be involved in. But there's a culture, and they've gotten really good at just bothering people and provoking reactions out of people to the point where they were actually able to get the news to pay attention to them.
Concerned that Bannon will legitimize fringe groups and help empower them for the next 4 years. For more of our political coverage, go to annenbergmedia.com. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Roz. There have been many campus discussions since Election Day as students try to process the outcome. Annenberg Media's Aaron Hendel shows us how some students today gained a new perspective.
Today, the Price School for Public Policy offered students a unique chance to talk about the election with 2 psychology experts.
The social psychologists seem to be talking about, okay, well, how do we bridge this divide, and is that really the problem? It's good for students who are feeling discouraged that, their professors are thinking about these things, that their school values this.
Psychology professor Jesse Graham told attendees that emotions played a big role during and after this election.
Moving forward, I think one of the things that helps is what they call the contact hypothesis. That if there's interpersonal friendships across party lines, that can actually help. So if you know somebody, and when you're talking to that friend that you know pretty well, it's very different than just talking to some anonymous Trump supporter who you might see as the enemy.
Another discussion today featured the team who worked with the LA Times to produce the Daybreak Poll, the only poll in the country that accurately predicted Donald Trump's victory.
But the traditional way to ask the question is, if the election were held today, who would you vote for? And the way that we ask it is, what % likelihood do you have of voting for each of the candidates? And also, what % likelihood do you have of voting?
Price School officials say there will be many more panels like the ones today in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, Annenberg just implemented a bi-weekly panel schedule, and today the Gould School of Law also started having their own panels. For Annenberg Media, I'm Aaron Hendel.
This week, social media sites like Facebook and Google announced they're taking steps to limit fake news on their platforms. We spoke to some students and an expert about why people are concerned about fake news stories. Social media has become a primary source of news. A 2016 study by the Pew Research Center found that 62% of adults in the U.S. get their news on social media, but some of what they're getting may not be news at all.
When people receive their news through social networks, a lot of what they're looking for is opinion, not necessarily news.
This means that people might be more willing to believe fake news stories that show up in their social media feeds, like this story about Hillary Clinton that turned out to be false. Critics suggested that fake news and hoaxes on Facebook might have influenced the results of the 2016 election. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg said in a Facebook post that it is, quote, extremely unlikely hoaxes changed the outcome of this election. But one USC student disagrees.
I think that fake news is actually one of the key issues as to why Trump was elected.
Zuckerberg also said Facebook is taking steps to address the issue and has, quote, already launched work enabling our community to flag hoaxes and fake news. Another USC student supports these efforts.
The more you can do to just keep bias out of people's news is the better.
The circulation of false information. In an effort to limit fake news, Facebook says it will prevent companies that produce fake news from buying ads. However, people will still be able to share links to fake news stories on their timelines.
Is Airbnb your go-to hotel alternative for a cheaper night stay? Well, we'll show you why some LA residents are fed up with the room rental company.
Home runs, touchdowns, and buzzer beaters, well, it's not just those. To see how USC athletes are also scoring big time in the education department.
Rivalry week at USC, and the Trojan Knights are standing by to protect Tommy Trojan from UCLA. But find out which other statues on campus are being kept safe. Up next.
Todd's a great guy. I mean,
Look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Housing activists rallied today against Airbnb, saying that the company is making it hard to find an affordable place to live in Los Angeles. Annenberg Media's Terrence Davis was downtown to see why people are fed up with these short-term rentals.
Housing and community activists criticized Airbnb at a gathering in downtown Los Angeles this morning.
We cannot allow a company like Airbnb, a corporation, to come in and just to operate as an illegal hotel. That's not fair.
They want the city council to pass new laws that would crack down on the illegal short-term rentals.
That if you want to rent out your own home when you're out of town, you go on vacation or whatever, to make a little extra cash, that's great. You're more than welcome to do so. Just got to register with the city and pay your taxes. But if you want to try and take housing off the market to rent out a unit that should otherwise go to an Angelino, that's not going to be okay.
Residents in downtown LA aren't the only ones experiencing housing displacement. Other areas such as South LA have also been impacted by Airbnb. In fact, a report from the Los Angeles Alliance for a New Economy found that 7,000 housing units across Los Angeles have been removed from the rental market. We spoke to one Airbnb advocate who says that the new proposed laws won't help the housing shortage.
All the Airbnb places came back on the market, there would be no effect because there's still not enough to begin with. So until they fix the housing shortage that there is, I think going after the, couple thousand units across the whole city, I mean, that's nothing.
Airbnb supporters say it's good for the city's bottom line. They point out that the city of Los Angeles gets 14% of the rental price. For Annenberg Media, I'm Terrence Davis.
Skilled labor workers at UCLA are striking to demand higher wages and new contracts. Juliet Muir spoke to protesters about their demands.
Nearly 700 electricians, plumbers, and other UCLA skilled trade workers are on strike after recent failed contract negotiations. The union workers, represented by Teamsters Local 2010, began protesting this morning outside UCLA's Medical Plaza and plan to stay until midnight.
I don't know if they really care, to be honest with you, but at least we want to show them that we're unified and together, and we want to be treated with respect.
UCLA declined an interview, but in a statement said, quote, UCLA is disappointed by this decision and believes this matter is best resolved at the bargaining table. The two groups attempted to negotiate on November 9th, but could not agree on terms.
We're here just to let UCLA know that we just want a fair contract.
The union says its workers are being paid up to $10 an hour less than skilled workers in Los Angeles outside of the UC system. A recent Occidental College study showed 70% of UC administrative and clerical workers lack food security.
I feel we're not asking for an unfair contract or just a respect so we can make ends meet and feed our families. We're not not asking for anything astronomical.
Skilled workers are beginning here at UCLA's Medical Plaza, demanding wage increases and contracts. They hope that the university hears them out, and they're going to continue their protest on Wilshire Boulevard.
Police presence was heavy as union workers marched down Wilshire, shutting down traffic.
It's a complete disgrace at one of the 10th richest universities in the country, the 3rd largest employer in the state, that workers go hungry working full-time for University of California.
Protests will continue at UC San Diego tomorrow. For Annenberg Media, I'm Juliet Muir.
And Sonica, on the subject of UCLA, the Bruins are set to face off against the Trojans this weekend at the Rose Bowl.
That's right, Ryan, but before the game, students are making sure USC statues are safe from the crossfire. Gabriela Vidal is live at Tommy Trojan with more on Rivalry Week. Gabby?
Thanks, Ryan and Sonica. It's Rivalry Week here at USC, and the Trojan Knights are spending their day and night defending Tommy Trojan from UCLA. Now, it's been a long-time rivalry between USC and UCLA to defend their statues from one another in the days leading up to the big game. Now, there are other statues on that are under wraps, like Traveler the horse, who sits right across from Tommy Trojan, as well as the sword right across from the USC track and field, as well as George Tirebiter, USC's former mascot, has a home that's keeping him safe this weekend, just in time for USC and UCLA's big game at the Rose Bowl. Now, this week's Rivalry Week will continue with Conquest tomorrow night. Conquest will feature a concert which will include acts from Aluna George to Majid Jordan, as well as food vendors and a rally starting at 7 p.m. Now, this event is open to all USC students. I'm going to take it back to you guys. Thank you guys, Ryan and Sonica.
Thanks so much, Gabby. Well, it's been hot these past couple of days, but as we approach the UCLA game, hopefully it will cool off a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little chillier this morning, so hopefully that continues. Let's check in with James to see what the forecast is.
Yeah, guys, you are exactly right. It definitely has been cooling down over the last couple of days, and it looks like we're going to be cooler and maybe even seeing some raindrops in the near future. We'll get to that in a minute. First, let's take a look outside right now at our current conditions, and I believe we have somewhere around the low to mid-60s going on right now. Outside, we are seeing some sunny skies. There we go. There's our graphic. Like I said, low to mid-60s, 63 degrees, fair sunny weather, but we are a little bit humid, though, at 72%. Now, as we head to our big map, let's go to the Inland Empire area. We've got San Bernardino tomorrow is going to be 70 degrees. Riverside will be 71, but Big Bear will only get up to 45 degrees. Now, as we head towards the coast, we have Malibu's going to be a very beautiful day at 72 degrees tomorrow. Northridge will be the same, and then Thousand Oaks and Simi Valley will both be 70 degrees. Now, as we head towards downtown, we're going to see a mix of the low to mid-70s. We're going to get to 73 degrees here at USC, and if you're flying out at LAX, it'll be just a tad cooler at 72. Now, as we head to our 5-day forecast, we're going to see, again, low to mid-70s tomorrow, and then we're going to heat up to near 80 degrees by Friday, and then we're going to start cooling back down as we head towards the weekend, and we've got a chance of rain coming in around Sunday and into next week. Now, on tonight's segment, we go to the tennis courts on USC's campus, where students are learning the sport in a unique way.
USC students might not know it, but they can earn units towards graduation by playing tennis 2 hours a week.
I really like the fact that it gets me out in the morning and moving around.
USC's physical education department offers semester-long 1-unit classes in the sport. The course teaches students 6 fundamental tennis strokes.
It wakes me up, and I start, because it's Mondays and Wednesdays, I start my week with exercise and with moving, so it's a really nice way to start the day.
Once students learn how to play the game, they compete against each other. Students are graded based on participation, skill evaluations, 2 exams, and a tennis observation assignment.
It's a great way to come out with friends and have some fun and get a bit of exercise in.
USC offers a variety of similar PE classes in other sports, including swimming, basketball, and golf. Students can take up to 4 physical education units. And it's fantastic that USC is a university that allows you to literally get to play the sports you love or learn a new one as part of your graduation requirements.
Yeah, I mean, the only requirement that would be difficult for me is you just got to go to class. Thank you so much, James.
Thanks, James.
The graduation rate for USC students athletes is on the rise for the 3rd consecutive year, and Annenberg Media's Tommy Brooksbank took a look with students who say they're grateful for all the support that they receive.
The USC student-athlete graduation rate is now at an all-time high.
Data released by the NCAA shows an 83% graduation rate for USC athletics, up 17% over the last 10 years. Athletes are not surprised.
I believe it. Coach Helton, he always emphasizes like how well we've been doing compared to the past with academics, like overall GPAs, AP scores.
On our track team, our coach is really adamant about us like taking school very seriously. Like she always says school first, running second.
Now we're just outside the study rooms here at the Mackey Center, where student athletes can come to work on their schoolwork with tutors, helping them get the grades they need to graduate.
Anything that we need to do well in school, they provide for us.
I just had an 8 to 10 paper last week, so I spent about 4 hours in the McKay just working with my learning specialists and my tutors, so it definitely encouraged it a lot.
The USC Athletic Department says the program has been focused on improving graduation rates once Pat Hayden became athletic director in 2010.
We have a learning specialist that works specifically with at-risk students. We have advisors for every single team that are looking at the progress of each student's classes. We're auditing every semester to make sure they're on the correct track, and if not, then we're adjusting to make sure we're making the right choices.
USC ranked 7th in the Pac-12 in student-athlete graduation, so the athletic department knows there is still room for improvement. For Annenberg Media, I'm Tommy Brooksbank.
Well, with such great student athletes and students, the Trojans are set for a great weekend.
Yeah, and hopefully they can carry this momentum into the game this weekend. John Marcus, tell us more.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan and Sonica. Well, first, a couple of Angelino sports legends received a big honor today. And you said it, football is back in action this week with a rivalry game against the Bruins. And USC basketball is also back, and they have a big test this week on the road. Sports are next.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
French fries. Finding best potatoes.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Ucla.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to ATVN. The College Football Playoff Committee has spoken, and the Pac-12 is tied with the SEC for the most teams in the top 25 rankings, with 6 teams apiece. The Trojans climbed 7 spots this week after upsetting number 4 Washington last Saturday, jumping to number 13. Clemson and Michigan remained in the top 4 despite losses. Alabama remains in the top spot as well, as they are still undefeated and are the only team to be undefeated, while Ohio State climbed to the number 2 ranking. The season is not yet lost for the Trojans, who are getting ready for their historic crosstown rivalry match with the Bruins. While the Trojans are not in control of their own destiny, they still have a chance to win the Pac-12. But Coach Helton does not want his team thinking about that.
We understand it's a special game for both universities as well as this city. I mean, we know how special this rivalry is, and we're honored to be a part of it. It's one of the better rivalries in the country and in the history of college football.
The Trojans' offense has surged as of late, and that is thanks to redshirt freshman quarterback Sam Darnold, who sat down with Sports Scene's Alex Duplessis today to talk about what this game means to him.
Fans are always getting ready for it, and I just saw them outside. They're ready to go, and it's just going to be really fun. It's going to be fun preparing for them, as always, and we're really looking forward to it.
This year, Darnold and the rest of the team will head to Pasadena to the Rose Bowl, where the Bruins will play host to the Trojans. Kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m. This week, the Baseball Writers Association of America have given out their awards. Tonight was the Cy Young Award, where the writers voted on the best pitcher from the National and American League. The 2016 National League Cy Young winner is Washington Nationals ace Max Scherzer, who is just the 6th player in MLB history to win the award in both leagues. The AL winner is Boston Red Sox pitcher Rick Porcello, who finished with an astounding 22-4 record. Today, President Obama honored 2 Angelina sports legends, former Dodgers broadcaster Vin Scully and former Lakers center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The 2 received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest honor a citizen can earn in the United States.
And this year he's going to give it to you.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yes. So you've had.
Are you sure? I'm just an old baseball announcer.
Well, listen, you've had a remarkable impact on the lives of generations of sports fans in this country.
The 2 are joined by Michael Jordan, Bruce Springsteen, Tom Hanks, Ellen DeGeneres, and several others to receive the honor in 2016. The awards will be presented November 22nd. And you know, guys, that's just a great award. I'm happy all those people got it.
Definitely. And Vin Scully, of course, he has such a legacy here, so really happy to see that.
Thanks so much, John. Well, Tinder is swiping right for gender identity.
We'll show you how the app's new update is giving users plenty of options.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
An update for the Tinder dating app allows users to pick from 37 new gender identity options. People can choose from a more inclusive list or even write in their own preference.
This update makes it easier for trans and gender queer people to have a online dating outlet to use.
Before this update, users could only identify as male or female, but now the app provides options such as genderqueer, transgender, asexual, and bisexual. Users can even write in their own gender. Tinder hopes that this change will promote inclusion of the LGBTQ community.
Well, it's always good to see more diversity and inclusion on dating apps.
Yeah, and John, you know, when you step up your Tinder game, you'll be able to see some new options.
Just gotta keep swiping right.
All right, everyone, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From all the people here at Annenberg Media, I'm Sonica Bargo.
And I'm Ryan Thompson. You can catch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their...
$3 margarita. Is it 3? Happy hour until 8 every day.
Yeah,
On Tuesdays,
3.
it's all day.